What's up, everyone? Matt Heafy from Trivium, filming from my twitch.tv/MatthewKHeafy, as I always am. It's the frickin' Truman Show over here. We're finally going to do an amp head shootout. I've been wanting to do this because I'm curious what the differences are. I don't want you to pay attention to volume. All volumes are going to be kind of relative. I did not take the time ahead of time like most professional YouTubers would have done, because I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm a professional Twitch streamer, and we just do things. We don't really prep things too much, I think. We just let them happen. So the heads, they're relatively within the range of each other's volume. I don't want you to think about volume. We're thinking about tone here. We're shooting out in order. 6505. Then we'll jump up to the 5150. Then the 5152. And the 6534 plus. The 5150 is an original block letter. The 5152, they don't make block letters of those, so it's just an original 5152. We're not testing the 05 Plus because I don't have an 05 Plus. That's the only reason. I'm going to record all of them as well, so we can check all of it out, and we can compare it at the end. But it's going to be, I'm going to test, muted. I'll say what it is first. I'm going to switch some stuff around. It might take a second. Then I'm going to test. But I'll make sure I record each time. Okay, so I'm muting. This is Epiphone MKH, Fishman Fluence Moderns, Evertune, Dunlop 10 to 52s, MKH Dunlop string. I'm just taking you through everything so we know what the front end. The front is going to be same every time. The end is going to be the same every time. All this stuff going to an MXR 6-band EQ, TC Electronic Integrated Preamp, Boss NS2. It's going to be the same every single time. Then it's going to be one of the four heads. The heads are shooting out to a Box of Doom Redback 150-watt speaker with a fake stereo, meaning a 57 on the left and a 57 on the right, off axis. I like the fake stereo for my stream. I know you'd never do a fake stereo for a record. I assure you it sounds very good because I go hard pan left and right. There's a high cut and a low cut and Logic, and that is it. Same beginning and end every time, different heads. Muting myself, I'll introduce each head. This is the 6505. This was sent to me brand new. Remember, don't listen to volume, listen to tone. That was difficult. I'm red-faced from leaning my head over with a guitar on it. This is now the 5150. Same riffs. Let's listen. Muting. Wow. This is the 5152. Fifty-one, 52. This is the 6534 Plus. So that was 5150. Sorry, 6505, 5150, 5152, 6534 Plus. Each one has been slightly tailored. I started with the EQ of the original 5150 on all of them and have shifted them to taste as we have streamed over these last few months. So let's listen to all four. We're going to be hearing the 6505, 5150, 5152, 6534 Plus. You decide which one you like the best. I will try to do the same as well. I don't know if there is a best, but there might be. There probably is. I think there is. They're all drastically different, but they're also similar at the same time. They're all of the same family of amps. Now, why 5150? I have always just preferred 5150s to every other amp. Amps are kind of relative. There isn't really an answer. Like if you were to ask every band guy of every band, they might give you a different answer. I've always just loved the 5150 family because it's kind of like the go-to for melodic death metal bands that became the go-to for modern metal bands, became the go-to for modern metalcore bands that's just been sticking around for modern metal bands. Seems like everyone's saying 5150. But what's crazy is I thought the 05 would be last, but now I'm kind of thinking it's not last. Whereas I loved the 34, I felt like the 34 was a little sluggish when we played Deceive notes. It felt a little sluggish. But the low end of the 5150 is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And the EQ settings, I don't think I can divulge them, but they're from Mark Lewis. He gave me the EQ settings of the 5150. Those are his settings that I applied to everything else and shifted. And as far as the other settings go and the other stuff, The EQ, I only have a subtle boost on 800, a slight more boost on 1.6, and a slight drop in 3.2. That's the MXR6 band. I feel like it's pretty essential. That's my amp making noise from my cell phone, I think. The TC Electronic Integrated Pre, I've got just a little bit over 4, a little bit around 10 on the bass, and just slightly super under 8 on volume on the TC. The Boss NS2 is threshold max, decay 0 on reduction. And just normal high cut, normal low cut, the same normal high and low that everyone else would do on guitar. The thing that's tricky about the TC Integrated Pre, a lot of people have been seeing me talk about those in 5150s. What becomes tricky about collecting 5150s and TC Integrated Pre's, every single one is different. I have 3 integrated pre's right now. All 3 sound completely different from each other, and each newest one I got sounded better than the last one. And every 5150 sounds different from each other. So as everyone's like racking their brain, I need to go find all this vintage gear. You could do that, but also know that Corey and I are working on solutions for all these problems where things will be available at all times, because they don't make the integrated pre. There's a lot of clones of them. I have tried them. A lot of them are really great, but the original's the best. And of the 5150, I lucked out because the person I bought it from took very good care of it, retubed it, and it is the original. I'm seeing Deformance. She's one of my main Twitch mods for those of you on YouTube. And they're like, what's a mod? I'm on YouTube. I could say whatever I want. It's the Wild West on YouTube. It sure is. Deformance says 5150, 6505, 5152, 6534 plus. I honestly think I could potentially agree with that. My thing, the 05 was missing a little bit of bass, which could be fixed. Wait, that's not what he said. Someone said his name and then said, well, what did you say then, dude? That's not what I said, but okay. Well, what was your opinion? That was Chai's opinion. Shai's opinion? Def said 5150, 5152, 6505, 6534 plus. Okay, so that is different. 5150, 5152, 05, 34 plus. That's amazing. 34 plus is at the bottom because that's one of Corey's favorites. But it's also, again, relative. It could be a matter of what you put in front. Because I feel like the 05 needs a stronger boost in front than the TC. I think the TC doesn't have enough bite. 5150 is definitely the king. I would say 5150, 5152. Normally the 34 plus, then the 05. But today the 34 plus didn't sound as good to me as usual. So yeah. As my phone does things, my amp does things. So this is the 34 plus. The best is obviously the 5150. So my verdict would have been 5150, 5152, 34 plus than the 05. But today, I feel like the 05 surprisingly beat the 34 plus, which I kind of can't believe. So bonus round, let's see if we can make this 05 sound more like the 5150. Here's the 5150. I'm going to listen to it for a minute and try to see if I can match it. Well, first of all, I had the volume too high. That's about where it was, right? This sounds really good. This is the 05. Let's listen to the 5150 and the 05. I'm trying to get the volumes close. They're all different. Let's try. This sounds kind of close. Well, damn. I think we got it pretty close. It's what I'm doing is just super, super, super subtle changes to the EQ, like extremely little bit of bass add, extremely little bit of treble, extremely little bit of stuff like that. I'm going to re-record the 6505, play it against the 5150, see how close we got. Pretty damn close. I think what it is, the 5150 sounds more like unrestrained. It's louder too. Well, somehow we got the 05 really, really, really good. I mean, you can get them all really good is the thing. It's just messing with a little bit. It's super subtle incremental changes. It's low gain. I don't think Mark minds if I say the settings, because settings are kind of relative. Like I said, every head is different. I mean, every vintage head. But on the 05, we're like a little over 3 on the pre-gain, a little over 7 on the bass, a little over 2 on the mid, quite a bit over 5 on the highs. The post-gain is a little over 3, resonance at 10, presence at 8. I've got the pre-gain on the clean channel at 0, bright on, rhythm just under 6 for the clean. The 05 looks drastically different. The gain is just over 5, bass is at 10, mid is at 2, treble is at 6. The clean volume is just under 8, distortion is just over 4, resonance at 10, presence just a little over 8. So you have to do a little bit different. And of course, you got the integrated pre and the EQ in front as well. I feel like I'll show you the difference too, because a lot of people are like, why are you using both? I'm going to show you EQ off and then the TC with the TC on, and then EQ on with TC on. See the difference? It adds that just like extra little bit of flavor. It's like cooking, like small, super, super subtle things. Like even think of something like a soup base. That's the first thing I ever took a lesson on cooking. If you're making soup, you don't want to over salt it before. It's always under salting and then slightly salting more and more and tasting as you go to make sure you get to the level. You can't just jack everything up to 10 and think it's good. That's going to sound like garbage. I think it sounds great. One more listen and then we're done. Yeah. I agree that the 5150 sounds less constrained. The 05 sounds like it's like being held back, and the 5150 sounds like it's just been let loose. But both fantastic, all four fantastic.